Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. We're here for another important step in the process of the Seneca Nation acquiring the license for the Seneca Pump Storage Facility on the Kinzu Reservoir. This has been a process that was commenced last fall in November when the nation filed a pre-application document with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. The purpose of which is to, in our view, displace the current licensee, First Energy Corporation, which has been operating the facility adjacent to the dam for the last 45 years. When we visited yesterday in Warren, Pennsylvania, First Energy was in attendance, as were a number of different community organizations and representatives. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission is in a process right now of evaluating the potential environmental impact of the project for the benefit of the nation and First Energy for purposes of evaluating next steps in evaluating environmental impacts. That is the nature of today's hearing in our territory, and we're glad that the FERC has agreed to hold a scoping meeting in our territory. You know, our history with this project in many ways goes back 217 years. Our nation entered into a treaty of peace with the United States in 1794, and the purpose of that treaty was to acknowledge our Aboriginal land title and to make a promise to us that the United States would never again interfere with the free use and enjoyment of our lands. The Kinzu Dam and the taking of 10,000 acres of the Allegheny Territory stood and stands as a violation, a gross violation of our treaty-protected rights to our territory. And we have never forgotten the damage that has been done to our nation as a result of that illegal taking of our lands. The process that we are embarking upon to acquire the license for the facility is a process in which we believe that injustice can partially be recovered. There are profits generated from this facility by First Energy. Our leaders, our people never knew that this was also going to be not just a flood control program, but also a power generation and profit generation program. And so because of this, you know, I have a great deal of enthusiasm for the process as we have started it today as yet another step in this long road to seek justice for our people. Now, we have a number of different speakers today, and I want to share a few thoughts that they will share a few thoughts. Richard Nephew is the chair of our council, because it is a collective effort of the nation government that has brought us to this position that we're in today. I'm also glad to have with us today Senator George Maziarz, who is the chairman of the New York State Senate Energy Committee, a committee that has a very important role to play ultimately on behalf of New York State government as it relates to this project. Why is that true? It is because the Seneca Nation is seeking this license, and as the result of our location of our lands and the impact of the reservoir on New York State, we have a joint opportunity to work together with New York State officials for the betterment of everyone in our region. Our goal is to ultimately acquire this license and redirect the economic benefit of the hydro facility for the benefit of Seneca people and the non-Seneca neighbors in our region. That is the goal that we have. We believe that now is the time.
Who better to serve as caretakers over the environment, our natural resources, the land and water, but the Seneca. As part of our traditional culture, the Seneca have a moral, ethical, and spiritual duty to protect and preserve the air we breathe, the land we walk upon, and the water we use and drink. Our proposed project will have more stringent guidelines to protect these natural resources and rehabilitate the habitat for the return of native fish and native plants that have been diminished, devastated, or eradicated from the area. We believe this commitment makes us the superior applicant with the benefit of future generations in mind. For almost 50 years, First Energy Corporation has generated electricity and profits with water mixed with the tears of the Seneca people. If we acquire the license, maybe we'll, just maybe, in some small way, we'll derive some condolence from this tragedy forced upon the Seneca Nation called the Kinzu Dam.